What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another Propagandhi reaction for the first time in a while. And in that regard, I wanted to give a shout out to all those who've been following my punk rock reactions for the last few years, including specifically the Propagandhi reactions, and who commented on the first few tracks on this album. And indeed, shout out to Ryan and Paulie and Lloydie and Jimmy and all the folks who've commented here and there on the Propagandhi deep dive, which is to say like Kim and Michaela and others. So yes, we're going to listen to another tune from At Peace, their 2025 album. As you can see, I do now have a CD copy, but we'll continue going through the vinyl as we do these reactions. And it's interesting, like, you know, enough time has passed and I've been very diligent. I have not listened to the rest of the album, which is a bit unusual. Normally I'd get a Propagandhi album and with the first couple days I'd listen to the album multiple times. But, you know, this is just what I do these days, or these last few years, so I am careful to preserve the initial experience for these reactions. But of course I've been looking at comments going back over a year now, and I will say, or roughly a year. I think they came out, what, was it April? I think maybe it was April. But yes, the point is, I've seen comments from a number of folks, including those who I have many similar opinions about bands and songs and albums, say that this wasn't the Propagandhi album they expected, maybe it wasn't even the Propagandhi album they wanted, and yet there's still a lot of interest here, and it has grown on, I think, some people over time. So yeah, I've enjoyed the first few songs. Admittedly, like, definitely with that first song, there was like a, wow, this is different. Like, this is not, you know, if I didn't know better, I wouldn't suspect immediately that it was Propagandhi. So yeah, I've picked up on a little of that flavor, but of course, again, I'm interested in whatever they do. The next tune on the album is quite appropriately for me, and I suppose for everybody, No Longer Young, which is further to say, as someone who's now in my mid-40s, I don't even feel as young as I did when I was in my late 30s, or even like my very early 40s. Like, it's, you know, each year, the distance between it and the year before it, it seems to stretch. It feels like, you know, with each year, it makes much more of a difference than it did when you were 27, 28, 29, 30, where it felt like, you know, more or less I was constant. So I don't know if it'll have anything to do with that. It could be about the age of an institution or an idea. It could be more abstract than just biological aging. But as I look at the title, and as someone who is now in my mid-40s, I definitely feel it. So in any case, let's listen, and then of course we do have the lyrics on this sheet. Do I have my phone handy? Where did I put my phone? Oh, it's over there. Okay, so we can look at my eyes are bad. Again, this is perfect because my eyes for small print, they have a hard time these days, but with greater light I should be able to read the lyrics afterwards. So I'll think about what I hear and then we'll check it out. Is this side A? This is side B. Okay, this is side A, and it's tune 4, right? It's the 4th track? Yes, it's the 4th track. So here we go. This is No Longer Young by Propagandhi on their 2025 album At Peace. This is not easy to see. You know, as I said,
Always been a cat guy anyways.
cat guy. Okay.
Seasons are changing and times are cold. And it might seem I've lost my way. I'm just out here searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on, not returning. Life on the line. At this point, what's left to say? We'll die in a world still at war. Did we really try? It might seem I've lost my way. reaching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on, not returning. I've been waiting so long, we've been waiting so long, we're no longer young. Sorry to hear, my friend, I hope that see you again. There are no chosen ones, we all return to dust. It's alright, we're invisible most of the time. I'll keep you in mind, but we're better off forgotten over time. I've been waiting so long, we've been waiting so long, we're no longer young. If I seem I've lost my way, I'm just out here searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on, not returning. If I seem I've lost my way, I'm just out here searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on.
So another Todd song, and again, I think I mentioned this in the opening tune. His vocals on this album so far are the most melodic I've ever heard him sing. I, got used to him being kind of the shout singer of Propagandhi, and the little bit I've heard from I Spy, the band he was in before that, it was a lot of the same. But yeah, it feels like he's dipping into a more melodic approach on this album. And yeah, I feel like the song is about biological aging, but it's also about the world changing or not, about waiting for a turn, a greater recognition, a zeitgeist or a movement toward the direction of, humanity and civility and progressive approaches to problem solving as opposed to destructive, violent, militaristic, and otherwise authoritarian problem solving, and feeling like it's a long wait for a train that doesn't come. There's an acknowledgement not only of human mortality, but also from a naturalistic point of view that's like, we don't think there are any chosen ones. We all are biological creatures, and like all biological creatures, we will return to dust. From dust we came, and to dust we shall return. And, there are a couple lines in there about like, most of the time we're not really visible, and maybe it's even better if we're sort of, unseen and people don't remember us and so on. So I don't know if that's more about, just kind of keeping your head down. It actually feels like this is another song that's running in a similar direction as Adventures in Zoocosis, a tune I really do love and, I find very emotional. And the idea that, like, when you're young and you're 18 and you're 25 even, it's, your sense of what is possible to change and how impactful you might be in your own little way of doing it maybe has a bit more of an optimistic bent. Now, maybe optimistic is not quite the right word, but the idea that you have a lot of time in front of you to do something, and then you hit middle age and maybe beyond, and it's like, it's hard. Big processes of change, no matter how logical your arguments, no matter how moral or how sensible your words and your ideas and attitudes are, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have a great impact. And even if it does affect a lot of people and make them consider their behavior and perhaps do things to try to affect change, that doesn't guarantee that the powers that be won't just continue to run the status quo and to, push down the what's the line? The nail that sticks up gets hammered down, to quote an earlier Propagandhi song. It feels like an acknowledgement that, maybe things haven't changed as much as we would have wanted, and maybe things won't change before we go the way of the dodo. So, yeah, that's what I took away from it. Let me now investigate directly and get the help of my my friend who has a bright light. Okay. So, no longer young. Don't follow me. Don't ask where I'm going. Night falls, the seasons are changing, and times are cold. It might seem I've lost my way. I'm just out here searching. Reviving the spirit I had. Moving on, not returning. Life on the line. At this point, what's left to say? We'll die in a world still at war. Did we really try? It might seem I've lost my way. I'm just out here searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on, not returning. I've been waiting so long, we've been waiting so long, we're no longer young. Sorry to hear, my friend, I'd hoped I'd see you again. There are no chosen ones, we all return to dust. It's alright, we're invisible most of the time. I'll keep you in mind, but we're better off, forgotten over time. I've been waiting so long, we've been waiting so long, we're no longer young. It might seem I've lost my way, I'm just out here searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on, not returning. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty much the essence of what I picked up on a natural listen, if you will. And I not only find that to be profound and, honest, even vulnerable, but I do think it once again kind of, it feels like another chapter to the sentiment and story in Adventures in Zoochosis. And that one is also about passing the torch, a younger generation who hasn't yet become acclimatized to or accepting of the status quo and how difficult it is to change things, and just wanting a bit of comfort for themselves, even if it means they're not making as much of a change as they wanted to or might have in earlier years. This one is kind of focused on being at peace with that reality and acknowledging it, but also processing it and trying to experience what that may mean and what that will look like from the outside and vis-a-vis others of a similar mindset going forward. So that's what I take away from it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.